Okay, so for this project we're going to be working with oil pastels. Oil pastels work the best when you layer them on really, really thick. So they're not just like a drawing material, you're not using it like a crayon, but you're thinking about layering it on really thick so it's almost like an oil paint. To blend, this upper left-hand wave one says use white as a blender, light blue, and dark blue. So you can think about how you want the wave to be shaded, and I want you to practice really, you don't worry too much about it being messy, but you're practicing getting it on really thick. So there shouldn't be any white of the paper showing through. And when it's talking about using a color as a blender, it means kind of going over those colors to blend them together. So I'm going to put in my light blue at the top. And you can see I'm using, don't be afraid to use a lot of color. That's how they look the best. Oil pastels can be really brilliantly colored when you're using a lot. I'm going to do the dark blue on the bottom, and then as you meet in the middle, you'll see how they kind of blend naturally and how we use the white to blend them even more. I'm trying to go fast, so it's a little messy. But then once we get here in the middle, this lighter color, the white, will really get these to merge. The whites are sometimes kind of dirty. You might want to have some paper towel next to you and you can just clean off the edge before you use it. So I'm using this to blend between the colors, and you can see that kind of pushes the color around and mixes it up. Okay. You can also just blend with whatever lighter color you have. So if I use the lighter blue, I can kind of blend those together. And you can use blending tools. There are ways to like roll up paper towel to blend your color. I like to just use my finger. Some people really don't like the feeling of oil pastel on their fingers, so you could wrap your finger with some paper towel if you want, but the key is really to keep that color on there thick, okay? This flame says use yellow as a blender, orange and red, so you're going to do the same kind of thing. I would start with orange and red, and then when they meet at the middle, blend them together with yellow. And the leaf says use yellow as a blender, light green and dark green. I have some examples that I'll show you, but I really want you to know how to use these pastels before you start on your drawing. And the main thing that I see that I tell students over and over again is just more color, thicker color. Don't be afraid to get a lot on there. So this one we're going to use yellow as a blender, so instead of, I'm going to do the edges a little darker. And this isn't a precision kind of drawing tool. It's hard to get like really clean straight lines, but we're not going to need to do that in this drawing, so don't worry too much about going outside of the lines. Okay, so one option, taking the lighter color, the light green, using that to blend these colors together, or I'm going to grab a yellow. Ooh, that one was dirty, so I'm cleaning them off. If you see like dark on the edges, you might want to clean them off first. Like I got some icky other color in there. And you can see that the edges between those colors are starting to soften. I've broken quite a few pastels as I've been doing this because I push really hard. And don't be afraid to do that. You can use like teeny tiny little pieces of pastel to color. Alright, that's it. So practice all three blending. Make sure that there's no white of your paper showing through, and then we can get back to your drawing, your bulletism drawing.